Hi, I'm Bob Holowinko, VE7WNK, Deputy Coordinator and Station Manager with the Quesnel Amateur Radio Operators Society. I'm an advanced ham. I'm part of the Provincial Emergency Operations Service, and I'm also a SAR Manager with Quesnel Search and Rescue. I'm a member of the Telecommunications Subcommittee with the B Search and Rescue Association, and that was really just a lot of words to tell you that I like radios and emergency management. So let's talk a little bit about where these two worlds come together. Ham radio operators are an amazing and incredibly valuable resource for search and rescue tasks. Hams can be used to deploy simplex repeaters, portable repeaters, assist with managing radios, and even rapidly reprogramming them if the need arises. This is particularly useful in a mutual aid situation. You never know, hams might even get the SAR bug and end up as ground pounders. Of the 35 members on my home team, 6 of us are amateur radio operators. Most of us have the advanced license. But setting up and managing gear is just part of the solution. Hams are also a very talented group of radio operators. It's in the name, ham radio operator or amateur radio operator. So why not ask a group of hams to operate the net control station? Yeah, we run as net control in the search and rescue world. SAR teams on large operations operate under the NCS format or net control station format, just like your favorite RegTuNet. Amateur radio operators will usually fit in the logistics section under the radio communications service branch. In some cases, they may end up in the operations section. It really depends on how the search manager wants to run things. In our situation, it's often clearer if they fall under the operations section because that radio operator becomes responsible for checking in teams, checking their status, ensuring that as they're moving in and out of operation, they're being tracked. So you'll see that quite often where you may end up reporting instead of to the logistics section chief, to the operations section chief. It doesn't really matter. In the end, the job is the same. Logging all this activity on a task is now easier than ever. SAR teams have this nifty new tool called SAR Assistant. It's written by a very talented software developer and SAR manager, Dylan Baker, who said there has to be a better way. He found it. SAR Assist gives everyone in command or in a section chief role the ability to share data very quickly. It allows them to check in on teams, check on assignments, check statuses, print assignment sheets, and ensure that everyone is signed in. This software allows this by enabling network synchronization. Network synchronization can happen between workstations across a local area network, such as in a command post or in a communications vehicle, or by using the special internet synchronization feature that is built into SAR Assist. Okay, so today I'm going to show you our trusty radio operator, how to become a radio operator for a SAR task, and how to use SAR Assist to get the most information possible and how to be the most effective as a net control station. Installation steps for this application will be linked below in another video provided on the SAR Assist website. There's a few ways to connect to a task, as I mentioned before, and this could include local network sync or internet sync. What you choose and the direction you go, including the specifics that you're going to choose here, will be up to your SAR manager, your logistics section chief, or your operations section chief. You'll let them handle that part. Once we're synced to a task and we're ready to send teams out, we have the ability to start tracking everything. There's a couple different ways that you can enter into the log. My personal preference for teams that don't necessarily need to see all this information, particularly the radio operator who might be operating the task, is simply to click View in New Window. Expand it to full size, and now you'll have a live updating view of all the traffic on that task. If somebody else enters any kind of unit log, it will end up here. You as the radio operator are going to be the primary source of information for everything that is happening in the field. Every time a radio message is made, you as net control will be entering that into the logging software. You may choose to have this be a 2-person team where one person operates the radio while the other one operates the keyboard. That's totally fine. In this demonstration and in all the examples, I'm going to treat it as a 1-person job, but how you deploy in the field is up to you, your comfort level, and your keyboard skills. Let's start off by adding an entry. An entry is just an entry in a data log or an entry in a communications log, similar to what you would be used to if you were doing any kind of regular radiogram traffic with perks or an emergency program like a municipal program. So it's very straightforward. It's the station called and who it is that's calling. So imagine your radio traffic is base team 101. We have XYZ happening in the field. That's very easy to enter. So station called is me, base. Station 101 is the station calling. And now you can put what they said here. So they gave an update regarding, let's say, deadfall hazards. Okay, excellent. You'd gather some of that information and maybe it would be critical. If the message is something along the lines of, hey, we're changing from one phase to another. So now when I say phase, I'm referencing the SAR terminology of maybe you're starting at your, when you get on there, your team is in their pre-prep. So you can actually change status here. So pre-prep, travel to assignment, execution, return from assignment, post-mission procedures. If you're a team leader, you're recognizing this SMEAC format, aren't you? Yeah, you are. So let's say that this team is just heading out to begin their pre-mission prep. You can say team departing shortly, require transport. Sorry, let's say do not require transport. And you can add this. I'm going to take that critical flag away. So before we hit save, let's take a look at some of the other information that's on the screen. We talked about station called. We talked about this is. We talked about subject. Well, I think we kind of assumed subject, as well as we talked about team status. We have a critical message flag, which, as this says, is to flag a message as critical. That little critical message is mostly so that SAR management or other section chiefs, when they're looking at the log, are able to get an idea of what urgent, what important, and what critical messages are coming in and out, or what time elements or, critical TSN turning point type objects are happening or type activities are happening. There's also this little lightning bolt, and lightning bolt means fast, doesn't it? Well, ka-chow. Don't sue me, Pixar. You can click that, and now there are a number of previously written or canned responses. Some of them you might notice are beginning assignment, checking in, closing out communications, clue located, etc., etc. These are very helpful. Why? Because they also update the team status. So it really makes things a lot easier for you as the radio operator to change multiple things at one time. So we said before that they didn't need transportation. Let's say they do now. Let's say they're ready for pickup. So I'm going to say use selected, and you'll notice that it selects the needs transportation and ready for pickup. Now multiple different things have been seen. If the logistics section chief is watching this and listening on the radio, they would now know that they have a team that is waiting for pickup. That matters because, I'm going to exit out of this. Actually, let's save that. That matters because of dashboards. So if I am a team, I can go and click on things like team assignments, team status. Now, when I bring up team status, if I'm the logistics section chief or the operations section chief, I can see, oh no, we have a team that's waiting for transport. Now that gives us an indication that we need to dispatch a resource. So maybe we would then go to our team assignments. Team assignments. I don't know where the team assignments window went, so we'll just quickly go back to operations dashboard, and we'll see that, yep, we have a mechanized team. That mechanized team may be out on assignment, but they may also be available to provide transport. So we get to see all kinds of very, very helpful information. Okay, back to what you came here for, being a logger. So now that we understand this, we can see that we've got the ability to edit a message at any time. Imagine we made a mistake, a typo, we misrepresented something. We can come back and fix it. It's really not good practice to go back and change things, so you may want to make another log entry. That's totally fine. If it's a simple spelling mistake, fine. But it's really important that this is treated as evidentiary content and is not modified after it's saved. You can also see that there's other ways where we can see just critical entries or just the last update for teams. These have their reasons. So for critical entries, this might be for more of a chaos management mode. And then latest update from each team helps to understand, when did we hear from them last? What is their status? This is important when we're waiting to get teams out of the field or as we're starting to wind down in a search operation. There's another interesting button here called Add Clue. Clues are very important in search and rescue. You'll find that quite often in pretty much every type of situation, teams will be conveying clue information back to you. Nowadays, we use our enhanced mapping to document and track clues. But if a team radios in a clue, you can simply come in here if you don't have it logged elsewhere, and you can start putting information. In this situation, you are tying up the main net control station, which is not very desirable. So clue information might need to go to a secondary net frequency if your communication system allows. Ideally, just use the mapping system. CalTopo is the most common in the province of British Columbia. However, that will be part of your documentation, that will be part of the briefing that teams receive, and you will probably be briefed by the logistics section chief as you go into the net control position. So hopefully you don't have to add clues yourself. This would be something that somebody else, a non-radio operator, will probably be adding. But again, if you do get information about a clue, you can quickly sketch down in this dialogue what that team has communicated to you as the radio operator. Okay, so this little colorful one is a very interesting one. This is something that is going to be absolutely new to you unless you're already in the search and rescue world. This is called RADMs. And what RADMs is it's essentially a risk management or risk identification tool. So it comes in two parts. There's an operational risk score and a response capability score. So the idea is you want a low score for response capability. Now remember, everything is risk. Even though it says response capability score, this is how exposed we are, right? So we want the risk to be very, very low, and we want the exposure to be very, very low. So what'll happen is a team will call in and say, base team 101, RADM score update. Team 101, this is base. Go ahead with your update. So what you'll do is you will enter in the two values. So because it's an XY coordinate, they might say we are 3/2. So you simply just type in the 3/2 and this dialog will come up. You don't need to worry about it, but they will put the 3/2. You can just type that in and you'll see that it moves the little star into the right location for it. That's good. That's exactly what we need. Here under set by, you will put the team. Occasionally a team might say something to the effect of all ops normal, or we're very comfortable with our RADM score. So any little notes or comments that they add with it, you can put here. Because the RADM scores are rated from 0 through 2, 2 being the highest risk, 0 being the lowest risk, it is common for us now to ask if there was any 2s. So if they say we have a 2 on, well, let's set a value. They might say, our personal, mental, physical preparedness is low. You don't want a team out there when they're completely exhausted, particularly if they're in a warm zone or a danger zone. So we would like them to let us know if any of these are low, for instance. While one low isn't going to make or break, it might mean that it's time to try throw different resources in the field. You shouldn't have to do that part. Anyhow, once you have this information, once you have the categories enabled, you simply just click save. And now that RADMs update right here, that gets added to the main log. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little video, or I'm going to edit in a little video where we showed some actual communication and some actual logging. It was a cool little demo. It might be a little bit cringy, but I think it helps cement some of the ideas.
Base Team 101, radio check, please.
Team 101, this is base. You are loud and clear.
Base Team 101, we have completed our pre-mission prep and are ready to travel to our assignment. We have a RADM score when ready.
Okay, Team 101, go ahead with your RADM score.
Team 101, our Adam score is 2 by 2 with no major concerns.
Team 101 base copies. Thank you. Do you require transportation?
Base, Team 101 negative. We are departing on foot. Team 101 clear. Base, Team 101.
Team 101 base, go.
Base, Team 101, we have reached the start of our assignment and are ready to start our assignment. There is currently no change in our Adam score and all ops are normal.
Roger, Team 101. Base copies. Base clear.
Team 101 clear. Base, Team 101.
Team 101, go for base.
Base, we have located a clue which matches our object from the subject profile. We dropped a pin at the location of the clue and have taken a picture of it on our iPad.
Roger, Team 101. Base copies. Please stand by and maintain your location. Timeout. In this case, we're going to wait for the SAR manager to review the clue. In some cases where enhanced real-time mapping is not available, you may be asked to gather location information, coordinate information, etc., the type of the object, and any other descriptive details communicated by the field teams. It appears there's another call coming in.
Base, Team 101 with priority traffic.
Team 101, go for base.
Base, we have located the subject and are requesting the RIT team to our location. We will need a basket stretcher, a rope team, and Cornell 4-5 to our location.
Team 101, base copies. Okay, timeout. Team 101 has made a very large request. There's lots of detail in there, and there's some very specific instructions that they're trying to convey. In reality, this request would go directly to the SAR manager, who would then provide you with the instructions to communicate to the rest of the teams. So let's say the SAR manager requests for Quenelle 4-5 to attend the scene or to attend the location where the subject is. Since Quenelle 4-5 is currently a team leader and our rope team is spread across multiple locations, multiple different teams, you have been asked to transmit the following message. All stations, all stations, all stations. This is base. Command has requested that all teams make their way to Team 101's location. Team 104, you are requested to collect the rope kits and transport them to Team 101's position. I will now ask for read receipts. Team 101, do you copy this message?
Team 101 copies.
Team 102, do you copy?
Base, Team 101, we have the subject packaged and we are returning to ICP. The subject is stable, no changes to our atoms.
Team 101 base copies. We have BCEHS staged and ready to receive the subject. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I certainly encourage you to reach out to your local search and rescue organization, either on your own or as a club, to let them know that you and your group are willing to assist with radio communications. Thanks again to the folks who built this wonderful tool. And again, thank you for watching.